Hello and welcome to Give and Take, the virtues in life. And today's topic is empowering the community. But before we go there, I want to start by saying that this light on the table here is representing the light of souls who have transitioned. In particular today, a very dear soul they're having a memorial for her because she transitioned last Friday. And so they had the cremation on Friday gone, and now today they're having the memorial. So I just want to say I want to have this light there for all of those who have transitioned, and so they've gone on for their journey, and they will continue their journey in whatever way that journey is set out for them. So now we're going to go back to empowering the community, and our guest will introduce himself. So welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
And your name is?
My name is Phil Andrews, and I'm the president of Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce.
Fantastic.
New York State's largest African American Chamber of Commerce.
Lovely. So tell me, how did you get started in that, Phil?
Well, prior to coming to be president of the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce, I was serving as president of 100 Black Men of Long Island.
Okay.
And much like the President of the United States, I was term limited. So the fact that I was term limited, I got a call and asked, would you like to lead the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce? And just God works in miraculous ways and have things in store for us that we don't even know. And it's been since 2013 I've been the president, and it has grown tremendously as an organization around the state.
So tell me about some of the things that you've done from fruition to present.
Well, one of the things I've done prior to becoming the president of 100 Black Men of Long Island, I was a franchise owner. I had a chain of barbershops that I built from ground up called the Haircut Hut Barbershop franchise. And one of the things was unique about it is that we had a banner up in the site, in the business, that said, value systems determine human possibilities.
Okay.
So I believe that when we have values, we can make things work in this world.
Absolutely. And the name of the show, the values, virtues, you know, it's
perfect.
Exactly,
Perfect connection.
It's virtuous values, and so we have to have those, because we have a common core of virtues, and so that doesn't change. We all want love, we all want peace, we are that, and we look for that. It's because we are that, and so when we have that, then we feel much in a better place moving forward. So when you took on this task, what did you think it was going to entail?
Well, I didn't know, I mean, I've been a business owner, so Chamber of Commerce, I know I had to drive the organization, and I guess in a way that everything I've ever done in my life, God was already preparing me for this position. So that's the way I look at it, that He moves us in just in the right time, in the right place. And I love helping people. I've been a community leader a long time, so it was perfect. I've been a business owner, so I understood the needs of businesses. So it's just, some people call it a perfect fit.
Right.
You know.
So now I've been looking at some of you've spoken, and I've seen some of the events that you've had. Share some of the key events that you've organized, and like you were telling me about one in February that's coming up.
Oh yes, we do. For the last 4 years, we've had the annual African American Art History celebration at Bloomingdale's, where we send out RFPs for artists to submit works to be hung up in Bloomingdale's during the month of Black History Month.
Oh, lovely.
And we have a big reception, jazz, entertainment, refreshments.
Right.
And the art stays there all month for Black History Month in Bloomingdale's. And the artists are able to sell their work, and Bloomingdale doesn't take a penny. And each piece of art is fitted to the room that they put the furniture in, Bloomingdale's Furniture Gallery.
Nice. So now, how many members do you have part of the?
We have approximately about 250 members, which is a substantial amount of business owners for a small new organization. And just recently, we had the first African American Expo. And as a result of the African American Business Expo at Nassau Community College, we set up our first endowment fund for people going back to school. It's called a Nassau Community College Equal Opportunity Educational Fund. So we got a permanent endowment since this chamber been open. And we're a young organization to do great stuff like that.
So how many members are in the organization?
Well, we have 250, but we impact.
What I asked, I didn't mean that. I meant in regards to the core members of the. It's you and.
Well, we have a board. We have a board of directors,
right.
and then we have what they call each county has a director. We currently serve 4 counties: Queens County, Kings County, Nassau, and Suffolk. But we outreach to other places too, and we have also committee chairs. Because if you want something done, get a chairman. The chairman will get it done.
Excellent. So I think at this time we'll take a look at the first picture and we'll talk about the first picture here. Okay. So there's no limit to what one can accomplish through relief and right action. So tell us about this. This looks interesting.
Well, for one, I had went on another TV show, and that first part of the saying is that when he looked at my work, that's what it symbolized, that there is nothing that we cannot accomplish with right belief and action. And then after that, you'll see a direct quote by me that I live by. And if you'd like to read it, just
excellent, very good. So if one wanted to be a part of the organization, how would they reach you? How would they contact you? And what is the steps to do that?
Well, they would just go on and log into www.liaacc.org, and we're fully automated for people to join us. They can contact us. They can sign up to be on our list. They can review us, the work that we've done, and we also encourage people to Google us.
Okay.
You know, when you Google people, you really find out what they do.
Right.
So we on Google Plus, we on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So we're on the major social media handles today, which are very important.
So now, do you network beyond New York? You know, do you network with, say, like California and those different states?
Well, we do network today. Once you're on the internet, you're automatically worldwide. So we've even at our recent expo, we had people come from like four states to Long Island for our expo. So today we're in a worldwide. Once we go on the internet, you're already worldwide. And people do business together through internet, through computers. We move documents through fax, also emails. Matter of fact, they're taking up most mailboxes off the corner because people are not using them. So we live in an age of the internet. So I think that makes trade a little more better across the country, across the globe. And we talk to people. Even recently, I found out that you can translate any language into, you don't even know the language somebody's talking to you, and you just put in, change this from Creole to English, and I could have a conversation with people, and I've done it several times around the world.
Oh, wow.
So today we live in a different type of society.
Yeah. So have you connected with some of the other countries in regards to the African? Do you know some of them? Can you name some of the countries that also have these kinds of organizations? Well,
there are other countries there. I'm not familiar with the particular names, but we are a member of the U.S. Black Chambers of Commerce, and they have 150 chambers, and we are a member too. So we have some chambers from Africa.
Great. Excellent. So do you get the opportunity to travel to these other countries, or will you get the opportunity?
It's so much work in New York, I don't get out much. It's a lot of work, and New York is a very busy market.
It is, yeah.
I think we're one of the most hyper markets in the country, so the amount of meetings that we do, the amount of business organizations that we are tied to is just tremendous. Like, that's one of the things about New York, it's so busy, you could always find something to do.
Right.
And we are a very busy organization.
So tell me now about Phil.
Well, Phil is passionate. I'm passionate, and I do agree with the virtues because we have to have our character in a way that it could sustain the success. There's many people succeed and then they can't handle the success because their character can't sustain it. So, and I'm also a person that believes that we have to keep studying. We have to keep studying. We have to read. We have to learn about emotional intelligence, how we deal with others, because you know, my own intelligence can only get me so far. But the real smart person is the one that know how to cue into other people
Right.
and work in and through people, because everything that we really get comes through in other people.
So what kind of religious or spirituality connection that you have in regards to, you talk about values, you talk about virtues. Is there any one particular thing that you're into, or you just...
Well, I read about all religions. I mean, I'll look at a documentary on Buddhism, Christianity.
Excellent.
I just love information, Muslim communities. I have a conversation with Muslims that live in my building, and I could say some words, and I talk some words in the Jewish language when I see some Jews that I know shalom. So I think we have to have an understanding. The better we understand other people's culture, we can probably communicate.
Exactly.
Maybe even if we don't know the language fully, but it opens the doorway to relationships to me.
Exactly.
But I am raised as a preacher's kid.
Oh,
so I was raised in the church, and they thought I was going to be a minister.
I could see that.
Yeah. But this is a ministry to me.
Don't people say you're a minister?
Yeah. Yes.
But it is a ministry.
It's a ministry.
And so life is a ministry. If you're out there teaching and sharing values, virtues, religion, spirituality, you're ministering. I mean, if we look at the term minister, that's what it means.
And it's a
someone
calling.
Said that to
it's
me
a unique
one time.
calling, too.
Yeah, someone said that to me, are you a minister? And I said, no. And then I said, you know what, I am a minister. Because I go out there and I share the virtues, God's virtues. So I would be a minister. So it's not, we tend to, connect these words to one particular kind of umbrella, but it goes across the board. And so we are ministers, absolutely.
Somebody, I think I read once that it said that, an act of worship can be somebody playing basketball if they do it unto God. So if you do your best and you do, and it's your calling, a lot of different areas could be considered ministry.
Exactly, very good. So I think we'll look at the second picture at this time. Oh, and look who that is. Who's that?
That's a former guest,
Yes,
Georgia Woodbine.
Yes.
She's a multiple author. She spoke all over the country, and she's just dynamic. She's got a couple of new books out, and she just inspires so many people. So that was at our Women's History Month program, Ladies of LIAACC. We do an annual Women's Month program honoring ladies that have showed distinguished work in their careers.
Yeah, she was a wonderful guest. It was lovely having her on.
And she was the keynote at that event.
Oh, she was? Okay,
yes.
Lovely.
Yes.
And so you'll do celebrations for like Women's History Month. What other kind of events do you sort of celebrate as well?
We also have minority business enterprise development, where we teach people how to be certified to do business with the government.
Oh, excellent.
We also have capacity building. We just did our first health fair too. We did a health fair with a major company, and we brought all different type of healthcare services, because without health, there's no wealth.
That's right.
So we did our first health fair, and it was very successful.
I think we'll look at the third picture now. What is this?
Those are news, like little, like people always want to know about what you do. So we develop our own short news bits where you can learn a lot about us in a few minutes.
Okay.
And the reason why I did it, the idea came to me was, sometimes it's hard to get on media. But if you let people know, it's a way to educate people what you do. We've been on WABC, we've been on NBC, Positively Black. Here and Now was the other show.
Right.
We've been featured in certain things. We're part of the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest African American Chamber of Commerce. Because people not going to remember.
Long Island.
Yeah, in New York State. So what it is, people not going to remember everything that you tell them. But if you give them a few pointers,
yes.
Like even your show may say, what's the main point is you want to about your show, virtues and values.
That's it.
So you let people know as a form of education to become more familiar with your brand, and that's where we put out news bites.
That's interesting. That how did Long Island get to be like the biggest? You would think somewhere like a New York City. They have their own chamber in New York City?
Yes, that's correct.
And so how many members do they have in New York City? Do you know that?
I'm not sure, but by virtue of the numbers that we have our service territory, Kings County has 1 million African Americans. Queens County got 500,000, and then Long Island has about 300,000 African Americans. So when you look at the geographic numbers of those areas, it's the largest concentration of African Americans in the country in a particular region. So, by virtue of us bringing those regions together, of course, New York is a totally different market. It's one of the only financial capitals in the world. So anything that goes into New York, it could really be big because the nation looks at New York right behind Washington, and New York is right there with Washington, D.C.
That's right,
And we are blessed just to be in this particular market. So we're looking to really bring the market together and span throughout the state. You know, we would love to come up in areas like Westchester, members. We would have meetings up here. We would make a county director. So we are very active in really bringing around, building the social and economic communities in the regions that we serve.
Right.
And it's needed. We need businesses. We need organizations that support businesses. We support restaurants.
Right.
We've had events where we had 200 people at a restaurant on Monday night. You know, Monday nights are usually slow in the restaurant.
Yes.
So the Chamber of Commerce could really help fuel growth, and it creates, and we could create success for people's lives. That's what the bottom line is. We're a business organization, and we're interested in making people successful so they could continue to live in this New York region. It's a very expensive region, so we need people to make money and succeed.
Exactly.
And that's
Very
a part of what we do.
I like that. I really like that a lot. Do you sponsor like political debates or anything like that?
We have not done that, but we can do as a 501c6. We can do advocacy, but we do not endorse a particular candidate.
Right.
But we certainly are active in the community. You know, I serve on several committees, such as Controllers Committee, the District Attorneys Committee, and their Business Advisory. So we are very integrated into the government and the community.
Okay, lovely. So I think at this time we'll look at the fourth picture.
Oh, that was our launch at Brooklyn Borough President's office.
Oh, very nice.
One of the biggest events we had, the Brooklyn Borough President hosted us when we installed our Brooklyn director. And as I tell you, see the difference, Brooklyn is really massive, you know, and that's just the first time we had an event. That's the turnout.
Right. And it looks like over 250 are there.
Oh, yeah, over 250 are there, yeah. So we get a good attendance. We really generally get good attendance every month, which is a very hard thing for an organization to do, but we're doing good service.
So if one, say for instance, lived like far, like, you know, an hour or so away, 2 hours away from Long Island, how would somebody be able to connect with the organization? Because would you refer them to a local chapter, or would you welcome them into the Long Island chapter?
We would welcome them, because you know, a check can come from Long Island to Westchester. So we could, if a business is doing internet business or they do web design, there's no barrier today, because we communicate with people all over the world today. And I think people are looking for a good organization rather than being in a weak organization. So I think we can help fill a void further than the market we currently serve.
Excellent, that's perfect. So you're not saying, no, you've got to go here, because sometimes, you know, your organization might do better for me than the one that's closer to me. So it's good to know that you don't say, well, it's not stepping on anybody's toes. It's going to where you feel is best for you. And so nobody should try to think that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
We also collaborate. We collaborate with other organizations. If they would, I mean, we would reach out to an organization in Westchester County to work together with us, because the bottom line is, at the end of the day, the more people, the more help they have, the more successful they're going to become.
Exactly.
So, and today we need that, those numbers of different organizations to work together so we can strengthen businesses, because everybody might not use your particular service.
Right.
So the fact that maybe there's 100 people in this chamber over here and 200 in there, but the 100 over here in this chamber don't do business with you at all. So maybe 10 at the other. So that's why you want to have that expanded reach in the Chamber of Commerce.
Right. Now, what kinds of businesses are in, like, with 250 businesses, are they like you've got 50 of one kind, one type, or is it a nice diversity?
It's a diversity. We have New York Life agents. We have healthcare companies like Fidelis. We have mortgage companies that have been around since 1959. Mid-Island Mortgage. We also have people that have electrical. They sell electrical supplies and generators. We have people that do health employee benefits. We got people that do printing. So everybody, even the big companies, are still looking to be marketed and still looking for customers, because there's no such thing as a company having too much business. And then we get other big companies call us too, because we also advocate for certain things.
Excellent.
And they still, no matter how big a company is, they still compete in the marketplace. And by working with a local organization, who better to know the community than an organization that's rooted in the community?
Yeah, I had to take a break there because it's one of the hottest days of the year. It's like like over in the 90s. Was it hit 100?
That's true. It's very hot. Yeah. Yes.
So I just had to take a break there. So what are some trainings that they do in the organization?
Well, one of the training, we definitely believe in leadership training, because leadership, our businesses cannot become more than what we are. And also, we bring in like experts like accounting. Just recently, the tax laws changed. So we had a general meeting that brought in one of our members to tell them about the the law changes to the taxes. And one of the things that we learned in areas like Westchester or Long Island that got very high taxes, they're no longer going to be able to deduct more than $10,000. So that's going to hurt some homeowners, because when they get that return, that's how that money helps them pay their mortgage all year. So we bring things like that, like people need to know the new laws, because the laws change so fast, but the people never got to hear what the law was going to be before it changed.
Because so fast you don't even know what's going on. You blink
things
and it's
like that. Also, we do things like small business, we call them capacity building, and technical assistance. A business sometimes doesn't know what it don't know. And it needs experts, like there's certain things that we weaken, all of us.
Everything, of course.
So we bring in like experts to kind of like, we get ready to have a boot camp. Actually, for October in the fall, we're doing a boot camp where we're going to go one-on-one to help businesses.
Nice.
Yes.
I like that. Because we have to support each other. We don't know everything, so it's nice that there's that in there.
And the business owners are so busy that sometimes they don't have that time to go for training, have somebody looking over, hey, why don't you do it this way instead of this way?
Right.
So, because the business owners, it's like somebody that bakes. They're not really concerned with all of the like management of the money, but they just like to bake. So they need these other skills and these other mindsets. And that's a common problem in business, is that there's certain things that we just love to do, and then we need to have somebody coaching us and mentoring us in the areas where we really might not like, but they're still a part of your business.
Right. When you said bake, I took me back to earlier. I was having a conversation with my cousin, and she was talking about how each person is an ingredient in that cake. And so she's saying, I'm an ingredient, my mother was an ingredient, my dad, and going all the way back, that we're all ingredients. We have our individual journeys, but we all make that cake.
Now I would say we need to market that cake. We need to get the recipe. We need to see what we could do, package it, and then maybe we can sell it to path markets.
Yeah, but it was so sweet when she said, I said, I'm going to use that, Jan.
No, it's true, and that's what a business is. Like you said, business.
They're individual, but collectively, you're there all purposely for a reason. So you're there to help and nurture each other.
And we all have strengths, weakness, and there's opportunities and threats. So ideally, that we would use all of our strengths to be the best we can.
Right.
And even then, we may succeed.
Yes.
But then again, there's still areas that we need to work on. Like you could be good to get the customer in the door, but then how do you treat them when they get in the door?
Exactly.
So. And then the other thing is marketing. Some people are not good at marketing, And I heard a story of James Brown years ago, how he was so great. He would say, hey, I'm James Brown. I'll be playing on the corner. And he'd tell 30 people, and he'd come back, tell another 30 people, hey, I'm James Brown. I'll be playing on the corner. And the moral of the story is, if you don't promote yourself, no one will. So like, these ideas may sound simple,
Right.
but some people are shy. What about shy people when they go into business? They don't have that ability to think, I'm gonna self-promote myself.
Right.
But it's an important concept, because if in business, it starts when you talk to the customer.
Exactly.
They don't know what you do until you told me you got this show. I didn't know. But then when you told me, I said, all right, it's an opportunity.
Exactly.
So it's the same way in business. That's why you need those different skill sets and mindsets.
So there was one more picture, I believe we could see that now. Okay, well, that looks like one of your team building pictures there.
Well, that's when we recruit them.
Oh, okay.
See, when they come in, we swear them in, because we swear them in by the U.S. Constitution,
Very nice.
the laws of the state of New York, and the bylaws of the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. Because we want them to know that even though it's a nonprofit, we're looking for serious people that are trying to build their business and be a part of the members. It's part of the pride of wearing this pin every day and what we represent.
Excellent, and I love that. It's you're going to be
and
a part of this.
And we pin them too. We pin them too.
You get pinned and you get sworn in. How lovely.
Yes.
And so it's very, and the nurturing continues from there.
Because the sign of commitment is very important. I learned that many years ago. That's why the military, they make you do certain things. You swear in to do this, because your word should mean something to you, right? When you come in and say, I'm gonna be a good member. So we want members to be good, and one of the ways we do that is how we bring them in from the start, and we let them know that we expect certain things from them.
It's a discipline. Even like when I was with a cousin of mine recently, well, family member, and he was saying, because of the way I eat and the way that I do meditation and things like that, he was saying to me, what I see is mind-body purity. I said, that's what it is. I want to keep my mind and my body pure and in a good way, so that I can receive what I need to receive from that energy, the God energy.
And I'm glad you're present. If we're not present in the woke, we said we ain't gonna get nothing. So you have to be present, and then like you said, and there's a thing that I always go by, be still and know that I'm God.
That's right.
And when you know God, you know your potential. So I love meditation, because I think we all need to retire into the silence occasionally and get away from the noises, because there's a lot of noises out there.
Plenty of noises, whether it be natural noises or unnatural noises. And so we do need that quiet space to just listen and
get to know ourselves.
Get to know ourselves and hear that light voice speaking to you, trying to get your attention. So that's what it does. And so, Phil, we're down to the last few minutes. If you could just sum up with like 1 minute, just say anything you'd like to say to the viewers.
Well, I like to say stay encouraged. If you want to go into a business, there is viable organizations like the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. We really do believe in helping people achieve their dreams, and I believe that this is our time, and I believe he put me here for a particular reason, and we're gonna continue to build the organization, and we hope you come visit us. I mean, just Google us. I mean, we're doing great work, and people are already telling us that they're looking at our work around the country. So sometimes when you do things very well, you only think that people looking locally.
Right.
But even Jesus was not recognized in his own hometown. So
that's what happens,
our work is definitely making a difference, and we want to be a model for people around the country, saying, I count, I can succeed, I can prosper. But it takes work and commitment, and we are committed to making a difference in business development.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
And I look forward to connecting with you in the future, and so best of luck to you and the organization.
And we take those blessings too. We take them, and we receive blessings when people give them to us.
Lovely. Okay.
Thank you.
And to the viewers, your level of consciousness is the gateway to the future. Thank you.
Thank you.